Welcome back to the Most Wanted video saga thing to do with Transformer collecting. Since this video format for Most Wanted is fairly new, I'm changing up the order of things this time and instead going over the non-wanted list purchases first that I think are worth mentioning and probably better than some of the actual wanted list items, to be fair. Okay, and this month we have more Wild King with Spirit One and Ignite Leo. Two energy beasts, the fire element and ground element respectively. I just need to get the wind one now. I like how simple these retools of each other are. They have pretty much the same molding but just slightly retooled between each one, which would put a lot of people off because it just feels like the same figure over and over again. But I always find that somewhat appealing because they're able to get creative reusing the same mold. It does invoke a lot of the Combiner Wars appeal. The actual combination to the core robot is a bit weak overall, but it's still fun nonetheless to me. But I can appreciate how a lot of people would be put off how simplistic and how they don't really look like limbs when they combine. I'm having a lot of fun with these Wild King toys regardless. Studio Series Megatron, I think everyone kind of agrees this one is a really good toy. The robot mode is very flawlessly Megatron in his G1 self. He doesn't turn into a gun, but the tank mode, it's not the most convincing tank mode, but it's really impressive that this figure can transform into a decent enough tank. The robot mode does a really good job at hiding the fact it does turn into a tank as well. I think this just works really well as a perfect complement to Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, and is just the ideal G1 Megatron modernized toy. Next we have Botcon Barbarian, or Grizzly One as he's also known as, which is a fairly rare Beast Wars toy. Edgar, FierroLocks, managed to find one at a flea market for almost nothing and didn't quite realize the value. We all told him and I offered him quite a bit in trade for this. Eventually arrived and it was just missing the bat arm thing. So I got the Polar Claw bat, dyed it brown, and I just need to finish off painting up the paw. But I feel like this is a really decent representation of the Beast Wars bear mold. This was my favorite of the repaints, but I removed it from the wanted list long ago because I just thought it'd be too hard to get, and now I have one. So special thanks to Edgar for this one. The Blockies Devastator upgrade kit arrived for the Defender Blockies for the Constructicons, and the combined form is actually really nice. It maybe takes a few too many part-forming liberties, but it's a Blockies Devastator at the end of the day, and probably the best way we're ever gonna get one. And additionally, I got the Golden Edition Bumblebee from the Battersea Transformers shop as well. I just really like metallic paint, and this one just really shines. I also recently went to the NEC Toy Fair with the Joes, and I came across the Energon Overcast, or Powerlinks Jetfire or Jetstorm. He goes by many names, and he was very, very, very cheap, only missing a gun. And then it turned out later this was actually Superlink Skyfire Supersonic. I've never had this mold before, but I always like to try out these new molds with the best repaint possible usually, and I think I've really found the best deco, and I do quite enjoy the clunky, simplistic era of Energon toys. And we also have Missing Link RC. I grew up with a few G1 toys here and there, but I've always kind of moved on from that and collect mostly modern. However, I got really into the reissue movie line where the G1 toys are in the 86 movie colors, and really enjoyed that. And then the cartoon deco RC emerged, and I just figured this would be a really nice investment, especially after how good Sunstreaker was, as well as Sentinel Prime, Cliff Jumper. I've really enjoyed Missing Link so far, and this one doesn't disappoint either. There's a bit of modern articulation joints which make it feel like just a kind of Legacy Deluxe in some areas, but for the most part it does really capture the 80s G1 aesthetic. It obviously needed to have a bit more articulation as part of the Missing Link line, but I do feel like some parts it's kind of almost like a blurry line between is this what the G1 toy would have been like, or is this very much like a Legacy Deluxe. That might sound negative, but that was my only real gripe. Everything else about this toy is extraordinary, really fun. It really does capture the 86 toy design from the movie. It would fit in well with the Hot Rod, Blur, Cup molds. I really hope they do Blur and Cup in the 86 movie colors as well. Maybe an upscaled Springer. But this RC is just really fun, really poseable as well. The amount of poses you could do with the very simplistic design is really fun, and also the vehicle mode to robot mode is very well integrated, unlike a lot of modern RCs. I think if you're curious on this one, I would definitely recommend giving it a try because it is just a lot of fun.
So a figure I recently got that I am so excited to share is the 2007 BotCon exclusive Bug Bite, which I have hunted 18 years for. And oh my god, I'm so excited to have it, and it looks sensational. It's so good. This Bug Bite really is a prime example of how BotCon at times was able to take pre-existing, like, beloved toys and then be like, hey, hold my beer, we're gonna repaint this into something even better, sometimes the best looking version this mold will ever get. Bug Bite really is in those upper echelons of repaints for me. He's as good as some of their Shattered Glass, their pre-Earth Cybertronian beasties, their Euro G2 offerings. It looks that nice. I was also able to get this for a really great price. There was a miscommunication with the seller that day, and so he knocked even more money off the top of the price. Far better than anything you will ever find it for on eBay, because those eBay BotCon secondhand prices are foul. So that ended up being a huge bonus for me on top of just getting what I already think is the best version of the Classics Bumblebee mold. This really is a prime example of where a figure exists to be a specific character, and then they do a repaint, and the repaint just trumps the other one. Think Transformers Animated Legacy Bumblebee versus the Legacy Animated Wasp. And the figure really is only like ankle tilts and waist articulation short of what people expect from modern figure posability, but the general aura of the guy, the vehicle mode, the little purple gradient on the jet ski, those really tacky 07 specific, like, tribal frat boy tattoos, oh my god, make this such a unique version of this character. It's so lovely, and I'm so happy to finally own one. I could have never passed up hunting one of these down, and Bug Bite will forever live out its days with the rest of the pirates on my Decepticon shelf.
Only one item off the wanted list tonight, and that is Age of the Primes Horrible. Finally completed the trio, and over several 4-packs that are hard to find. It's nice seeing all 3 of them together. But more importantly, I really like how well retooled this is from a crocodile mold to a bull. You can kind of see the 2 side by side, but I really appreciate a retool that brings new life into a mold and makes it feel like something completely different. The robot mode's paint is somewhat lacking on the chest especially, but I do enjoy the style of this, and especially, like I said, it is a crocodile that was turned into a bull, and it's convincing enough. Arguably I got this just to complete a trio, but I'm really glad I did get it because it's just generally a really impressive retool and a fun toy overall.